Hey, Driven Autism Dads, it's Kyle Jetzel. Hey, I'm on my way to pick up my son at work, but I wanted to just touch on something a little bit here that I think is a big mistake that I'll say autism dads are making. And I did the same thing, and I'm going to tell you what it is. When we first got our son's diagnosis when he was 4 years old, he's 22, so this was 18 years ago. And you know what? It was almost a relief for my wife and I, because back then, people didn't know about autism like they do now. Back then, autism meant a kid sitting in a wheelchair stimming. That was all you really knew about autism. We didn't know it was a spectrum. Maybe we didn't know anything about it, but it wasn't widely understood how autism affects kids. And so we were kind of surprised when somebody mentioned autism the first time. And when we finally got the diagnosis, my wife and I were almost relieved, because at that point we thought, well, you know what, this is great, because now we can get him the help he needs. And we can start to figure some things out, and we can start to lower stress in our home, because at the time it was overwhelming. We had a 4-year-old that was controlling our home. We walk around on eggshells. We didn't go places. We didn't do things. We were uninvited to things. And it was because of autism and the circumstances we were under. And so we were excited. My wife and I looked at each other, and we thought, finally, now we can get him the help he needs, whether it be doctors or specialists, or, ABA was new at the time, at least to us. And they had all different kinds of things that they could try. And so, we thought, great, now that we finally have the diagnosis, it's all going to be better. And I'm going to tell you right now, if that's what you think, you're wrong. For those of you that are dads that have been in this for a while, you realize that's wrong. A diagnosis may get them a little extra help in school. It may get them some special services. It generally does not change the stress in your home. And I see it all the time. I see, people are pushing to get a diagnosis now. They want a diagnosis because they somehow think it's going to solve their problems. And the reality is it doesn't. And they're discouraged, right? Because they think, oh, finally the answer. And we did the same thing. And frankly, we tried everything. There was acronyms out the wazoo. ABA was the only one I can remember, but we tried 4 or 5 other things. Occupational therapy, physical therapies. We tried all these different therapies, and ultimately all those things did help them a little bit, but it still didn't change the dynamics of our home, and the stress, and the meltdowns, and all those things that created a world of chaos in our home at the time. And so I want you dads, if you're early in the process, I want you to know, don't think that the experts and the doctors and the ABA, that is not your answer to lowering stress in your home. I'm going to tell you right now, they do what they do. Their job is not to lower stress. That's not what they do. They never have claimed to be able to do that. They've never tried to do that. They don't really know what the heck they're doing when it comes to that. That's about you, Dad, figuring some things out. And lowering stress, and figuring out some strategies, equipping yourself with the right tools, understanding the tactics behind those. And most importantly, I've said this before and I'll say it again, no strategy works. I can tell you right now, no strategy works in lowering stress if you, Dad, are in the wrong state. And by state, I mean if you're not at peace, if you're not patient and kind, the strategies just won't work long term. I'm going to tell you right now. Here's the cool thing, though. Almost every strategy works when you're in the right state. Okay? And that's harsh, and that's different than what you're going to hear from everybody else, and I understand that. But let me tell you, it hasn't just been me. My kids are now, my more severe son is 22. My mid-range son is 20. And he's one I'm going to go pick up at work, which tells you a lot about him. But I've been through all the kind of stuff that you're going through. I've seen it. I've attempted all kinds of fixes, all kinds of strategies, and I've worked now with hundreds of different dads who have validated what I'm telling you right now. And that's this. If you're outsourcing stress reduction in your home, you're going to set yourself up for colossal failure. It ain't happening, man. I'm telling you right now. Now, those of you that have tried, and you already know this, I'm not telling you anything. Those of you that are new are not going to be happy about this. Maybe those of you dads that have tried it and still aren't willing to put in the work, you're still mad. You're going to be really mad at me because you are trying to outsource it and it isn't working, and you're wondering why they're failing you. The truth is they're not. Let's be clear on this. All those experts, the doctors, the ABA, the therapies, the IEPs, all that stuff is outsourcing, and you can't outsource peace in your home. You can't outsource thriving in the chaos as you raise these kids. That's you. That is you. You can't pass it off to your wife either. If you expect that, she's going to be ticked off at you. I'm going to tell you right now. I've gone through that as well. We've been through the whole gamut. So anyway, my message for you today, dads, especially you driven autism dads, and those of you that aren't driven, that are just default dads, just kind of hanging on, it's going to tick you off, and it should tick you off. You can't outsource the happiness of your family. You can't outsource the stress reduction in your home. It's you. And if you're trying to outsource and you're mad at them, you ain't got nothing to be mad about. It's you. For those of you that are driven, you understand this. You know what's going on. And any way I can be helpful, let me know. Send me messages. Let me know what's going on in your family. I'd love to do videos that'll help you specifically. Let me know. I'm here to help, and have a great day. Bye-bye.